According to a shocking new report, the United States secretly smuggled nearly 6,000 Starlink satellite internet terminals into Iran during this year's violent riots, in one of the most audacious operations aimed at breaking Tehran's internet blackout. US officials revealed that the covert plan was financed using funds from the State Department, after Iranian authorities had completely shut down internet access to stop protest coordination across the country. The report also suggested that President Donald Trump was briefed on the operation, though it remains unclear whether he personally authorized the move or simply allowed it to proceed without interference. The alleged US operation was first exposed by the Wall Street Journal, and later covered by RT News in its February 13 broadcast, adding a new layer of tension to already fragile US-Iran relations. Iran's government had long accused both the United States and Israel of orchestrating and fueling the deadly unrest, which spread across multiple provinces and lasted for several weeks. Iran's president went further, claiming that American and Israeli operatives had embedded so-called foreign terrorists within the protesting crowds to destabilize the nation from within. According to Tehran, these foreign agents used brutal, ISIS-like tactics, including beheadings, mob violence, and even burning people alive, to sow chaos and fear in the streets. Iranian officials said these agents not only attacked police forces but also turned on peaceful demonstrators, making the unrest appear much bloodier and more spontaneous than it actually was. For years, the US State Department has quietly funded programs promoting what it called internet freedom for Iranian citizens, primarily through secure VPN networks and proxy servers. Those encrypted VPNs reportedly allowed an estimated 20 to 30 million Iranians to remain connected to social media and news outlets during the turbulent 2022 protests. However, the latest revelations suggest that funds from those VPN projects were secretly diverted to purchase and distribute hundreds of Starlink terminals inside Iran. Adding to the intrigue, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent admitted on February 6 that Washington had engaged in direct efforts to sabotage Iranian systems and weaken state control during the unrest. Sometimes they talk about war, saying we'll do such and such with such airplane. This isn't new. In the past, Americans have repeatedly threatened in their words that all options are on the table, meaning including the option of war. They always said that all options were on the table. Now this guy, Trump, also constantly claims, we brought in a navy. We did this and that. In my opinion, they shouldn't threaten the Iranian people by these things. The people of Iran will not be influenced by these words. We do not fear confrontation based on right. We are not the initiators. We do not want to do any injustice to anyone, nor do we want to attack any country. However, against anyone who harbors greed, intends to attack, or wants to make trouble, the people of Iran will deliver a strong fist to them. What's the issue with America and Iran? This confrontation that exists. Iran and America have been enemies for 40-something years. What is this issue? In my opinion, the issue can be summarized in two words. Those two words are that America wants to swallow Iran, and the valiant Iranian nation and the Islamic Republic are an obstacle. Your Iran, your country, has many attractions. Iran's oil is an attraction. Iran's gas is an attraction. Iran's rich mines are an attraction. Iran's strategic and geographical location is an attraction. There are many other characteristics. Iran is a country that naturally attracts the greedy gaze of a power-hungry, expansionist force. Iran is standing strong and will continue to stand strong, and God willing, it will disappoint those who try to provoke and harass us. The sedition was made by the US. The plot, it was a US plot. Not just the US, but also the Zionists, the Zionist regime, were involved. If I'm saying the US, it is not just a claim. It's not just a claim. This info hasn't reached us through secret, secure, hidden and complex information channels. Of course, yes, we are aware of many of its characteristics. But what clarifies that this action, this move, was an American move is the statements of the very President of the United States. This sedition was like a coup, meaning some people in the world interpreted the sedition that occurred as a coup, saying a coup had started in Iran. The coup was suppressed, but it was a coup. What does it mean to be a coup? It means the goal was to destroy sensitive and effective centers in running the country.
I'd like to ask you, what more can we be doing as we see us place pressure on the Ayatollah, who is no friend of the United States of America, and as we see what he is doing to the citizens of his own country in the streets? What more can we be doing to make sure that we are placing the pressure that we need to on the greatest state sponsor of terrorism, and that is the Ayatollah and Iran?
Well, what we can do at Treasury, and what we have done is created a dollar shortage in the country. At a speech at the Economic Club of New York in March, I outlined the strategy. It came to a swift and, I would say, grand culmination in December when one of the largest banks in Iran went under. There was a run on the bank. The central bank had to print money. The Iranian currency went into free fall. Inflation exploded, and hence we have seen the Iranian people out on the street. We will continue monitoring all the partners, all the Iranian partners. The good news, Senator, is that we have seen, and we can see it with our fencing, we have seen the Iranian leadership wiring money out of the country like crazy. So the rats are leaving the ship, and that is a good sign that they know the end may be near.
Reports dated February 13th claimed that at least 7,000 protesters were killed in the violent clashes, making the unrest one of the bloodiest episodes in post-revolutionary Iran. The protests initially began with small groups of shopkeepers and students frustrated by Iran's collapsing economy, but they quickly turned into a nationwide anti-government movement. Analysts believe this latest uprising represents one of the most significant challenges to Iran's clerical establishment since the Islamic Revolution of 1979. On January 13th, in U.S., President Donald Trump issued a stark warning to Tehran, threatening severe consequences if Iranian forces continued to kill protesters in the streets. Just a day later, Trump claimed that Iran had stopped executing demonstrators and put an immediate halt to large-scale arrests and hangings following his warning. Although Washington continued its harsh rhetoric afterward, the U.S. appeared to pull back from any immediate military action against Iran, despite aggressive posturing and threats. Now, after months of silence, Iran and the United States have quietly resumed nuclear negotiations, with the first closed-door meeting taking place in the neutral state of Oman on February 6.